France. Just saying the name conjures visions of warm croissants, stylish cafes, elegant architecture, fine wines, and people who seem to move through life with effortless grace. Yet, Americans often see French culture as charming but impractical, pleasant but maybe not for real life. After all, don't we live in a fast-paced world where productivity, speed, and efficiency reign supreme? But perhaps that's exactly why Americans need the French perspective more than ever. Because the French have quietly perfected something we often miss entirely: the art of living. Not merely existing, not just surviving, but truly savoring each day. So today, let's explore precisely what Americans could learn from French people. It's not about copying France, it's about enriching our own lives by understanding a culture that prioritizes beauty, pleasure, community, and meaningful simplicity. Here we go. 1. Life is to be enjoyed, not rushed through. In America, we hurry. We eat quickly, work longer hours, and measure our worth in productivity. Time is always money, and every minute counts. In France, the opposite holds true. French culture insists on slowing down because it knows rushing destroys pleasure. Lunch lasts hours, dinners stretch into the night. Conversations don't just communicate information, they weave relationships. In France, meals aren't interruptions, they're the heart of life itself. The table is sacred, food is savored, friends linger, time stops. Why? Because the French know that life's best moments aren't on a to-do list, they're in slow, unhurried experiences. Americans, in our haste, risk missing this joy altogether. We finish meals without tasting them. We speak without truly connecting. The French remind us that time isn't money, it's life itself. And life is short enough without speeding through the best parts. 2. Quality over quantity. In America, more always seems better. Bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger meals, bigger closets. But in France, there's a belief that less can actually give you more. A small wardrobe of carefully chosen clothes rather than overflowing closets. Smaller apartments filled with meaningful items instead of giant empty spaces. Smaller meals rich with fresh, local ingredients rather than massive portions of processed foods. This isn't deprivation, it's mindful abundance. Each item carefully selected, each object loved. It's about intentionality, choosing quality over quantity every time. Americans often chase more, thinking it means better. The French teach us that fewer possessions, better chosen, beautifully used, can lead to deeper satisfaction. 3. Public space belongs to everyone. In France, parks, plazas, and sidewalks aren't just passing places, they're gathering spaces. They belong to the community. Every French city has parks filled with people lounging, reading, talking, playing music. Streets designed for walking, not just driving. Cafes spilling onto sidewalks. These spaces encourage interaction. Strangers share benches, families mingle, friendships form. In America, public spaces can feel transactional places you move through rather than stay. But the French have mastered the public art of gathering. They know that vibrant communities require public spaces that foster connection. Perhaps Americans facing rising loneliness and social isolation could rediscover this simple, profound lesson. Public spaces are more than places, they're social glue. 4. Style matters. French style seems effortless: classic clothing, simple colors, high-quality fabrics. But French style isn't about vanity or trying to impress others, it's about self-respect. When French people dress well, even for casual outings, it's a gesture of respect toward themselves and others. Clothing in France isn't disposable, it's carefully chosen, well-made, and maintained. In America, fast fashion floods our closets. We buy clothes for short-term trends. We often dress to impress or simply for convenience. But the French way reminds us that style is more profound. It communicates dignity. It expresses identity. It shows we value ourselves and the people around us enough to present thoughtfully. 5. Vacations aren't luxuries, they're necessities. In France, everyone gets generous vacation, usually 4 or 5 weeks paid annually, minimum. This isn't laziness, it's balance. Time away from work isn't selfish, it's essential to well-being. French people believe deeply in disconnecting to reconnect. Reconnecting with family, nature, themselves. Meanwhile, Americans frequently skip vacations altogether, fearing they'll fall behind at work or seem less committed. The French model teaches something vital. Rest isn't indulgence, it's maintenance. Travel isn't escapism, it's education. Pauses aren't productivity losses, they're productivity boosters. Americans, caught in perpetual burnout cycles, could learn from the French philosophy. Life isn't all work, rest rejuvenates us to be our best. 6. Food isn't fuel, it's culture. To Americans, meals often mean calories, macros, or convenient fuel. To the French, food is joy, art, identity. Meals are rituals that bring people together. Fresh ingredients from local markets are cooked slowly, eaten mindfully, and enjoyed socially. In France, farmers and bakers are respected artisans. Every region is proud of its cheese, wine, bread, and dishes. The French fiercely protect this food culture. In America, processed food dominates, meals become rushed chores. But the French remind us food can be so much more. Connection, identity, Health, pleasure. We could learn to slow down, cook fresh food, savor each bite, and enjoy eating as culture, not convenience. 7. Healthcare is human, not just business. France has one of the best healthcare systems, globally accessible, affordable, efficient. Healthcare is seen as a basic human right, not a commodity. You can see a doctor without fearing bankruptcy. Americans often associate healthcare with financial stress. High bills, insurance battles, inaccessible treatment. The French perspective is clear. Health shouldn't depend on wealth. It's about humanity, community, and compassion. Something Americans are increasingly reconsidering, especially after recent crises. 8. Debate is art, not argument. French people passionately discuss everything: politics, art, food at cafes, dinner tables, street corners. But these discussions aren't arguments, they're explorations. Disagreeing isn't personal, it's cultural sport, intellectual exercise. In America, disagreement can quickly become personal, political, and divisive. We lose the art of dialogue, becoming afraid to speak openly. France shows that lively debate strengthens democracy, enhances thinking, and builds community because it requires respect. 9. Aging is graceful, not shameful. America often fears aging. We obsess over youth, chasing anti-aging products, surgeries, and youth-focused culture. But in France, age is beauty. Older women and men carry dignity and style. Elders remain socially active, influential, and respected. Wrinkles mean wisdom. Aging is part of life, not something to fear. It's a beautiful lesson Americans could benefit from. Aging doesn't lose its richness. 10. Pleasure is not guilty. In American culture, pleasure often feels indulgent, even guilty. We justify pleasures or sneak them guiltily. In France, pleasure is life's essential spice. They pursue beauty, flavor, and joy unapologetically. French people enjoy good wine, decadent chocolate, and rich pastries without shame. Pleasure is seen as necessary, not selfish. It's balanced, moderation, a healthy embrace of joy. Americans could relearn something deeply human from France. Life is meant to be enjoyed, and pleasure, in moderation, is good for the soul. Final thoughts. So, what could Americans learn from the French? We could learn to slow down and savor life, to prefer quality over quantity, to embrace public community, to dress for dignity and self-respect, to vacation without guilt, to see food as culture, not convenience, to treat healthcare as humanity, to debate respectfully, not divide bitterly, to age gracefully, not fearfully, to seek pleasure without apology. The French philosophy is simple. Life is short. Beauty matters. Connection counts. Enjoyment is essential. In America's rush to achieve more, own more, and produce more, maybe we lost sight of these gentle, powerful truths. The French offer something deeply needed: an invitation to slow down, to live intentionally, to prioritize joy and connection. It's a perspective not rooted in extravagance, but wisdom. Life isn't measured by how quickly you reach the end, but by how beautifully you experience every step along the way.